libraries offer something unique and special about them. Right now, currently in the children's department, we have a story time Tuesdays through Saturdays. They have Read to a Dog, where kids can come in, practice their reading. Sometimes they don't like to read aloud. The ballet etudes, dance along. The library, there's a maker space. They have a 3D printer, classes on how to sew, programs for children, teens, and adults, ice cream class, crochet, book clubs, and I also want to mention our veterans. We do have volunteers working with the Veterans Center. I was hired in 1988 as a children's librarian and storyteller. 2010, I was promoted. I was in charge of the children's department until 2020 when I retired. I love connecting children with books and getting children excited to read.
Hello and welcome to Speak Up Huntington Beach, a podcast looking at Huntington Beach and current events and some of our great people. My name is Perry Clitheroe. I'm here with Barbara Richardson to talk about the Huntington Beach Public Library and all of the wonderful services that it provides. Barbara, thank you for coming out today.
I'm very happy to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. I know you're a retired librarian.
Yes.
You've been very outspoken the last couple of years, but let's get to know you a bit first. Can you tell us a bit about your background and what you did as a librarian in your career?
Sure. I was hired in 1988 as a children's librarian and storyteller. I worked there until 2010, and then in 2010, I was promoted to senior children's librarian, where I was in charge of the children's department. I worked there until 2020 when I retired. I managed staff in the children's department. I ordered books. I did story times. I planned programs. I worked with the volunteers. We used to have a big fundraiser called the Taste of Huntington Beach with the children's friends. I helped with that. So I was always very involved with the library and the children's library.
Wow, 32 years.
Yes, in fact, I was there before, when I was hired, before there was even the children's library. We did a big fundraiser to raise money for the children's library. It opened up in 1994. If people remember way back when, there was a little rose garden out in front of the library. The circular ramp was outside, and the children's department was downstairs. That was moved upstairs in the new wing when it opened. And the circular ramp was moved inside. Wow.
I had no clue it was 1994. I think that's great timing. I was born 92. I spent almost every summer of my childhood over there. If you probably don't recall, I was little, but you used to read to me. So it's like meeting a celebrity right now for me. Is there anything specific about children's libraries that drew you to that part of the work? Obviously, libraries are big.
I always loved working with children. I also have a teaching credential in elementary and high school, and I love connecting children with books and getting children excited to read.
Yeah, it worked. Between you and both of my grandmothers, one of whom was also a librarian, everyone around me was encouraging me to read. So thank you very much for all that service. 32 years. Public schools and libraries work together regularly. Is there any coordination there?
Oh, we do sometimes work with the public schools. The Children's Friends of the Library have a writing and illustrating contest that they like to do. This year it's a writing contest, and they work with the local schools and with the school librarians to try to get the kids involved in the writing contest. This year the theme is living in the library, and I think the deadline is Valentine's Day, and they are to encourage the kids to come read. They have a ceremony held in our Tabby Storytime Theater for the winners. Their work is displayed in the children's department. So that's one way we get the schools involved.
Awesome. Are they still giving away the personal pizzas to the children for the books that they read during the summer? That was big when I was a kid.
That was the Book It program with Pizza Hut. But we now have In-N-Out that does it. In-N-Out does the food for thought. So you don't get the pizza, but you get the free In-N-Out hamburger or cheeseburger. So I would dress up every Halloween as the hamburger to get the kids really excited. I'd do a display case. I'd hide little hamburgers in my display cases and have the kids try to find how many little hamburgers they could find in the display case to encourage them to do the In-N-Out reading program.
Oh, that's cool. I did not realize it got upgraded from Pizza Hut to In-N-Out. That's very good. For you, I guess all those years in the library, was there any specific books you loved the most, loved reading to children, or?
It's hard to pick a favorite. I love so
Mhm.
many of the books. For story time, one of my favorite books, like Peekaboo, The Cow Buzzed. I always like to use puppets with my story time. So those are some of my favorites. I love to do the different CDs like Rumble in the Jungle with Kimmy Schwimmy. She's a lot of fun because you can do a lot of action. I always like books that have a lot of action where the kids can get involved and move and act.
So tell me a little bit more about libraries. Obviously, we have a giant warehouse of books at the libraries. Everybody knows that. What other services are there at the library that people may not realize are there?
Well, right now, currently in the children's department, we have a story time based Tuesdays through Saturdays, a story time every single day with different storytellers. So it's a different type of story time. They have Read to a Dog, where kids can come in and read to a live dog, practice their reading. Sometimes they don't like to read aloud to their parents, or they get a little shy. So they
People
can
are
read aloud.
judgmental.
Yeah, they can read aloud to the dog. I think that's on
That's so
certain
cute.
Saturdays. They have the ballet etudes dance along where they can watch the ballerinas dance. That's also held, I believe, one Saturday out of the month. There is the seed library where parents check out the seeds, but kids can help with the parents as they pick out their seeds. They check them out. And by checking out, basically, you borrow them. And the thing is, when you grow your plants and you get seeds from those plants, you bring them back
Mm.
that way. So you can grow your tomatoes and other plants that way. The seed library. There's a maker space where you can go downstairs and actually make things. They have a 3D printer, and they can help you do that. They offer classes on how to sew. Their classes are a lot of different art classes. They have programs for children, teens, and adults. So yes, even people like me. Last year, now that I'm retired, I went to their how to make ice cream class. That was really fun with
Heck yeah.
dry ice, and they had some other things, and you just shake it and you make yourself little
Hmm.
ice cream. That was a lot of fun. They have crocheting, which I haven't done yet. They have book clubs that you can join. They have book clubs where you walk in the park and read, with your books. Right now, they do a lot of scavenger hunts. I like to think that's something I left behind because I started doing
Hmm.
the scavenger hunts, but they now do them all the time. Little scavenger hunts. This year they're doing a Black History scavenger hunt in the children's department, where you look through the children's department to find little famous African, pictures of famous African Americans, and I think you get a little prize for doing that if you can complete it.
That makes sense. That's probably great for kids too. Get them spread out, get them
Right,
exploring the
and to
library.
learn different things.
Yeah.
Like I was there today, and there was a picture of Rosa Parks, and of course the little girl wanted to know who that was, and so mom got to explain who Rosa Parks was. So they're doing a game, but they're also learning something as
Yeah.
well. Oh, and they
Interactive.
have Lego Club. How could I forget Lego Club?
Oh,
Yes, and they offer that. Something else, we used to have a live homework club at Central Library. COVID changed a lot of things, but we do have something called Brain Fuse. The Friends of the Children's Library pays for Brain Fuse. It's an online homework help club. It can also be used with adults. Adults can use it. You can send in your resumes or your paper. It's all free. All you have to have is a
hmm.
library card. They'll send it back to you the next day if you're doing a resume or you're doing a paper. They have live tutors, particularly if you're trying to help your child with math. I was never very good at math, so they have math tutors that will help the kids online. If you want the in-person experience, Oakview Branch has tutors that come in. They're volunteers that will help the kids with their homework. They also have volunteers that will help kids with the chess club at Oakview Branch.
Maybe speaking of the Oakview branch, I know we have a lot of Spanish programming at our libraries too.
Yes.
There's a Spanish book club,
Mhm.
and I know I've heard that they also host a loteria as well. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that. I know it's very, very popular at the Oakview
Hmm.
branch. I know during Halloween they have the Friends of the Children's Library help with their pumpkin raffle, and we help with their homework club parties to get the kids, something to do. We do a lot of craft programs over there as well.
Awesome.
And I should also mention that Banning Branch and Main Street Branch also have programs for children and adults, art programs, craft programs, and adult book talks as
Hmm.
well.
You know, while we're talking about other branches, because obviously here in Huntington Beach, the Central Library gets a ton of love.
Right.
I mean, it's
The biggest
gorgeous.
branch.
It's the jewel of the system. Um, what are Did you primarily work at Central Library, or did
Yes,
you
I know.
move
I know.
around?
I worked at Central Library.
Okay, got it. Which is your favorite of the other libraries, if you have one?
Well, I like all the libraries offer something unique and special about them. Oakview, I think, has lots of community involvement, lots of programming. The people absolutely love their library. Banning has a lot of little individual cute craft programs. And of course, Main Street has the whole historical pictures in there, big story time room. They do special little crafts for the kids before story time. So each library has its own little special area.
Awesome. So I wanted to, obviously, we aren't doing this podcast for no reason. There's a lot. There's a lot going on in the
Oh,
city.
yes,
There's a
there
lot of
is.
drama. So you said you retired in 2020, and I
During
imagine
COVID,
you're probably
yes.
hoping for some peace and quiet. And
Well, I was, they offered a golden handshake. Oliver Chi was our library manager there. And I have to say, he was one of my favorite library managers. Oliver, if you ever see this, I really liked Oliver a lot. But we were offered a golden handshake to go. It was during COVID. No one knew how bad it was going to get. We were doing story times in-house, going home and trying to do story times. I did a lot of story times online, which I think you can still find. I did 101 things to do with paper plates, which is still, I think, on there. But a lot of us left. I think 5 of us left from the library, a lot left from the city. And everything seemed kind of quiet. And, I hired 2 really great people who were on my team, part of my children's department, Melissa Ronning and Laura Jenkins. And I was so proud of them. And I thought I was leaving the library in really good hands.
the library has a really robust volunteer community, including positions that directly support operations, like circulating and shelving. I used to do that when I was younger, putting the books back up on the shelves. Who oversees these volunteers?
We have several volunteer groups. We have our young adult librarian. She works with the teen volunteers. We have volunteer shelvers. We have volunteers that help with the children's program. Sometimes they'll put together kits. They will be like a teen advisory board where they help create programs for other teens. We have a literacy volunteer where you go downstairs and contact with someone through the literacy program where you can actually help adults learn how to read. That is a very rewarding program. We have the Friends of the Library, and you can help with the used book sale where you can sort out books. You can help sell the books. They have a program where you can work in the gift shop. And that all raises money for the library. All the sales that they do, all the proceeds when you donate your books, that goes to help buy books for the book collection, furniture for the library. That all goes back to the library. And then there's the Children's Friends of the Library, and they help supplement the children's programming for the library. They work with Ballet E2s to do like the Nutcracker. That's a big program for us. They usually do a Halloween magic show. They help do the summer reading program. We have the big summer reading program Carnival, where children can go online and come in and read books and earn prizes. We help supplement the Beanstack program, which I'm really proud of. That's something online where children, teens, and adults can register for reading programs. Now, for children, we have year-round programs. We have year-round online programs you can take part of. And of course, we have the In-N-Out Hamburger program. We have a spring program. And then we have our summer reading program.
Awesome.
And, it's more than just online. You can also come in. Not everyone likes to do things online. If you want to, you can come in during the summer reading program. We have teen volunteers. If you want a paper reading log, that's probably how you did it when you were first there,
We had the
when you
paper
were a
log.
child. We saw the paper reading logs, and you can earn prizes through your reading efforts.
It was always fun. Fill those sheets up, get my pizzas, or now burgers for these kids. If the library didn't have these volunteers, do you feel they really enrich the library system? And
Oh, they
would it
certainly
be,
do. If we
yeah.
did not have our volunteers, the Seed Library is run by volunteers. The Makerspace program is they have volunteers that help with the Makerspace program. We have volunteers that help with the summer reading program that helps set up the summer reading program and the carnival. The volunteers are needed to help sort the books out, to help with the book sale, to help raise money. The literacy program, the homework help program, the chess club, those are all done with volunteers. And we wouldn't be able to do that without them.
Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to ask too, and in terms of online offerings, the internet's been a blessing and a curse in many ways, but I know libraries have not ignored the internet, and I think people take it for granted. Can you talk about ways that people don't even have to go to the library to benefit from their library card?
Right. You can go online on our website, hbpl.org, and you can check out ebooks. You can download your ebooks on the tablet. You don't ever have to worry about them being lost or overdue because they automatically come off your tablet or your phone when they are, when you have
when the time's up.
To them up. Right. You can check out audiobooks. So when you're driving to and from work, you can listen to books or you go on vacation. Mm-hmm. Those are some opportunities. And I also want to mention our veterans center that we have inside the library. We do have volunteers working with the Veterans Center, and they can help veterans find the things that they need and help that they might need to get through our veterans.
Navigating programs
right.
and different things.
That's correct.
Oh, that's awesome.
They have a calendar of events. You can actually go, if you don't go to the library, because the Central Library will also have paper copies of this. The Friends of the Library have a Facebook page, Friends of the Library of Huntington Beach. And the Children's Friends have a Facebook page, Friends of the Children's Library of Huntington Beach. And we also have a website, fotcl.org as well.
So a lot of great options,
right,
depending on what's up your alley. Well, it is getting late. I've got work tomorrow, so I'll need to go to bed. We should wrap it up. Thank you very much for coming, Barbara. We appreciated having you. Hopefully we can have you on again in the future. This is the Speak Out Huntington Beach podcast, brought to you by Protect Huntington Beach. My name is Perry Clithrow. I'm your host, at least this time. Barbara, thank you for coming out.
Well, thank you. And I just want to tell everyone, make sure to check out all the great things that you can find at the library, because it really has something for everyone.
Not to toot my own horn, but it's part of why I'm so smart.